Welcome back, friends. I'm Mellowseven, and this is Darkest Dungeon. Now, Darkest Dungeon is a very kind of mood, kind of setting type game, right? It's essentially a side scroller. You build parties of 4 players, they dungeon crawl, and eventually it all goes horribly wrong and they go insane and die. That's essentially what happens. So it's kind of a... We throw roguelike out there for anything where players die and stay dead. If that's the definition of roguelike, then this is a roguelike. The game continues to save. There's no such thing as anything except an Iron Man save. And you've got a series of characters. Like I say, you run them through. I've already done the very initial kind of welcome to the game tutorial type dungeon because it does give a little bit of story. And I won't spoil that too much except to say that essentially you've been called back to the ancestral seat because your ancestor, your dad, your grandfather, whoever it was that was last here, essentially got involved into all sorts of dark occult stuff, and essentially now the whole place is a land of horrors, and you're there to kind of set things right as you dig through the history of the game. That's essentially the setting. This is initially your Hamlet here. At first, all we have access to is the stagecoach. The stagecoach is where we get new heroes. I've already grabbed the 2 that we have available. We have our ancestral memories. You can go back through and watch any of the story type of stuff there. And we've got a graveyard because people will die. So eventually we'll have a nomad wagon, which will let us sell and buy trinkets, gear for our characters, a blacksmith where we'll be able to upgrade our weapons and armor. If I'm Restless goes away, we'll see we have a guild where we can unlock the skills and stuff that our characters have and level up the skills they have. We'll have an abbey where we can go to de-stress. Your characters, you can see right here, start to build up stress as they go. After the first stress, they start to develop abnormal behaviors, I guess is a way to say that. And then when the stress bar fills up the second time, they have a heart attack and die. So you do need to de-stress. The sanitarium is a way to unlock those insanities and diseases as you get them. You can essentially clear them out there. And the tavern is another place to go to de-stress. So that's essentially it. At some point, we'll also be able to unlock districts. Haven't ever got that far. There's a number of DLCs out for this. I have all of them enabled for this game except for Crimson Court, which personally I just found kind of annoying. It was a neat style. Essentially your characters could become vampires and they need bloodlust, and then you'd have to stock up blood, and normally they wouldn't be quite as good as they normally would, but with a little bit of blood they'd be a little bit more dangerous, and it was just one more thing to micromanage, and it was just kind of annoying. Although I did really like the artwork style, I did like the mobs, I just wasn't a fan of kind of the gameplay that went with the rest of that, so I have disabled that for this. Now my whole point here is not necessarily to teach you how to play the game. We're not going to play every single match or anything like that. The game is fairly long. I thought we would look at some of the mods that were available for this. So initially, I'm just going to kind of look at some overall kind of styles of mods, I guess, rather than a focus on any one thing. So I have added a few mods in here as far as new character classes. I've also added a bunch of just random skins. I essentially just went through the most subscribed over the last whatever period of time and essentially just clicked most of them. There's a fairly wide range of styles in there, from people that have taken stuff from other games or styles from other games, or even other characters within this game, to kind of cutesy kind of anime stuff, some kind of cartoon nudity, that sort of stuff. So there's a wide variety of that. I just kind of grabbed a bunch of it, just kind of give you a big shotgun blast of what types of things there are. So to give you an idea, this here is our Crusader. This is one of the add-on quests. Now you can come down here and you can switch outfits. This will change any of the skins. By default, you've essentially got a couple different color options. So you can see here, this is an added one. This is the base one with some extra color options. And you can kind of click through here. So like I say, there's some cartoony type of nudity stuff. I just kind of clicked everything. So there's one of those. This is the Highwayman, another type class. This is an add-on one here. This one's modeled to look like our ancestor, the character in the game, and I think it actually looks very good. It's very well done. And this was the base. We got some hats and stuff in there, and the different color morphs. And again, there'll be if you want female nude ones, there's 8 billion of those out there. I actually kind of bypassed a number of them just because I think we have enough options. This one adds a gas mask, which is pretty cool with the different color morphs. I believe this is just the standard one. Maybe this is the standard one with the color morphs like this. So anyway, so there's a bunch of different ones. This is our Vestal. These are both kind of healers here, essentially, different types of healers. And again, Vestal, same kind of idea. A number of these mods are made by the same people, so you'll see kind of similar art styles. It's like an evil Heidi. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Anyway, so that's that. So you've got your town here where you can do some basic things. You've got this where you can check kind of the news of the week. You can go here to check to see what type of trinkets you have organized. This tells you essentially basics of the game, glossary, and this takes you to your menu. So when we're ready to actually go on a mission, we click Embark. These are the locations that are available to us at the moment. You can see most of them are locked. This is the final mission, essentially. So this here will tell you it's a level 1 apprentice mission. It's short. You will not be camping. The longer missions, you actually have to camp within the dungeon, whatever it may be, as you go on. This one, I need to explore 90% of the rooms. It's going to give me a Blight's Charm, some crests, and some gold. Crests and other heirlooms are used to unlock and upgrade your buildings in your hamlet. Trinkets obviously are used on your people, and money's used to buy stuff. So we only have 4 characters, so we don't have a whole lot of options in what we're going to go. So we grab our 4 people here. We've picked our mission. We hit provision. We're going to come in here now. There's a number of things that you can do within here. All of these things do something in the game. So some of them, like food, we'll just take 12, are meant to help health. Now, if you're in there for a little bit of time, randomly it will say everybody's hungry and you have to have 1 food for everybody to eat, or they start to get stressed. So you should usually have 4 unless you're really close to the end and you think you can do it. So food will help heal. It will cover that. Shovels, especially in the ruins here, are good. You'll run across obstacles where the shovel's the only good way through. It'll be like thorn branches or piles of bones or whatever. And they can dig through with their hands, but it stresses them out to do it. So different locations have different standard kind of things that you're going to run across. The ruins, one of these types of things, these obstacles that you need that. Bandages stop bleeding. Anti-venom stops venom, blight, poison type abilities. Medicinal herbs can cure some debuffs and stuff as well. Always nice to have a key or something too. There will be chests, and you use the key. Sometimes it'll unlock a secret, or sometimes it'll bypass a trap in the chest, that sort of thing. Torches you need. Torches are kind of a big part in the game. As you go through, it's dark. If your torch lights up, your characters are a little bit better, but they get a little bit less treasure, but they also get stressed less, and chance of surprising the enemies goes up. Whereas if it's pitch dark, it's the reverse. The chance of the enemies of surprising you goes up. You get lots more loot, but your stress and the game difficulty goes up. So it's essentially a variable difficulty within the game. The harder it is, the more loot you get, the easier make it on yourself, the easier it is. Characters will also get traits or attributes that make them better or worse depending on light levels. So we'll go with this for now. We got a holy water in there and an anti-venom. And we'll embark. Off we go. Into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, but be careful. Now, the narrator in this is pretty cool, although I will say he does get a little bit tiresome after a while. But initially, he's awesome. So I haven't played a huge amount of this. I played this a bit when the game came out. I played a bit when the Crimson Court came out, and I'm playing a bit now. But I'm by no means an expert in this game. There's all sorts of ways to play this. People that min-max it, people that just play for fun. All sorts of different class combinations that are better or worse. And when I was playing this the first time, I was a little bit more serious about it. And I can tell you, kind of which classes I like together. Don't have that right now. And we don't have a choice right now to choose which abilities we have. If we right-click on our character, these are the abilities we could have. These are locked. You need the guild to unlock those. Since we don't have that, we're stuck with the 4 we have. These are the skills that they have while camping. So, for instance, our Crusader here, 1 time per battle, I can do Bulwark of Faith. It increases our torchlight by 20. It marks myself, so people were more likely to attack me, but it gives me protection, right? So, pretty cool. You could use that early on a tough fight. Stunning Blow has a chance to stun people, 100% chance to base. Lowers your damage, has an accuracy of 90. Zealous Accusation attacks 2 characters. You will see, it's hard for me to move the arrow because when I move it, it'll come off it. But there are 2 yellow dots. Those dots show where in here, right here, show where in the party that ability can be used from. So Zealous Accusation, I have to be in one of the front 2 slots of the party to use it, and it will show you who it will hit. In this case, it will hit both of the front 2 party members, these 2 up here. So you can see this character exclusively has to be in these front 2 positions and will only be able to hit these 2 positions. When people die, they sometimes leave a corpse, which fills up that spot. So we could potentially kill people. They have corpses here, and I only have people in the back, and my Crusader would be of no use against living people. They'd have to kind of fight their way through the corpses to be able to clear those to get to that. Some characters are really large, and they'll actually take up 2 slots. So there may be 1 guy here and then 2 people back here. Our Crusader would only be able to attack that first guy. That give you an idea? So base stacks here, we got hit points, we got a dodge ability, protection. This is how much damage we do, crit, AC, and these are our kind of our passives here. So we have a stun resist of 40%, blight of 40, disease of 30, death blow 67. This is low because of this shocker negative quirk here that lowers my stun resist by 10. Kleptomaniac, I tend to steal things. God-fearing, I will only pray to go stress relief, so I have to go to the Abbey, and only one of those options is available to me. I like the Cove, which we're not in, and I like the Torchlight to be above 75. These are essentially all the stuff the game gave me to start with. So that's the basics of how this runs. When we're in here, we have rooms. We click on the room. That'll put us in the hallway. We're now going to walk along this hallway till we get to the next room. You can pick which person you want to control while you're in here. So if you want somebody, for instance, here's a torch. What if we want this guy to grab the torch? We'd do it. Now, A and D can be used to move you backward and forward, as can clicking in front of and behind the crowd. Backtracking adds stress. W will interact with options, interactables that you're within close, so we'll click it. We found an unburned torch. There we go. To use the torch, we can either click here. You can see that they're lit up. That means we can use those right now, as we could use the holy water if we want. You can also come up here and click on this. On top of that, you can see dodge plus plus, scouting, monsters surprised. It gives you about 25 per torch, so you don't need to waste it. And then W again to interact with the door at the end, or you can click the door. Our first fight, obviously, they're surprised because our torchlight is high. So we're going to get the first round all to ourselves. So this guy can cause people to bleed, but as you can see, they're skeletons. They don't really bleed. We could shoot 1 person in the back 3 spots. So I could shoot this guy. I can't shoot this guy. I can do grape shot. That's going to hit everybody in the top in the 3. Generally speaking, your damage is going to be bigger on your multi-attack things, but you're not focus firing. So while you're going to do more damage overall, you're not going to take people off the board quite as quickly. So you're probably going to take more damage in the long run as well. So it's up to you to decide your tactic, your strategy. And there's only 2 people here, so I think I'll just do a pistol shot on this guy, take the free damage there. Now, this is our Vestal here, who is a healer. So if she is in the front 2 somehow, when you get surprised, it will shuffle your party around. So she could pop up in here, and then you'd have to do something. So this gives her a default. If she's up front, she can hit things with her stick. She can judge. And you can see here, this will, we pick somebody here. It'll do some sort of damage, and it will heal us 3 points. We're not damaged though, so that doesn't help. This is just a heal. It will heal 3 to 5 on whichever one of our party members we want. This will heal everybody in the party. Well, we don't really need any heal, so we may as well get some damage. We'll see if we can kill that guy. There we go. That was a heck of a hit. Wasted heal. This is our Plague Doctor here. He has a bleed. He's got battlefield medicine. He will cure a blight or a bleed on somebody else, as well as on himself, and 1 point of damage, I believe. Or we can do blinding gas, but see, he can only do that on people in the back 2, enemies in the back 2 slots. There aren't any. Or plague grenade, again, people in the back 2 slots. There aren't any. So we're just going to do this. It will do some damage. Obviously, he's not going to bleed, but we'll take the damage. And he resisted the bleed because of that. So now I could use this. This buff will protect myself. I can just hit him with a stunning blow. This is a chance to stun, and you can see he does have only a 10% stun resistance, so that's probably a good one. We killed him with it, but we probably would have stunned him. And there we go. Fight's over. Now, we'll take some base money there. Come over here. We have a key. That one is unlocked, though. So I think we'll hang on to our key for now. Now, it could be that it's trapped. In this case, it's not. And the key still might have got us something bonus, but I'm going to go without it. So this room is done. So now we can click back over here. These are our items. We click back over here, we click our next room, and we'll move on up. Now this one we're supposed to go to 90% of the rooms. You do get stressed more for backtracking. So I think we'll go this way, and that should get us our 90% of the rooms, and we won't have to backtrack. Otherwise, if we went like this, we'd have to backtrack this way, or like this, we'd have to backtrack down at least one hallway, and there's just no need for that. So this is one of those things that all the bodies and stuff from the cave in here, whatever happened, we're going to use a shovel because otherwise it will boost our stress through the roof. And we don't like that. As we walk along, we'll build up stress. There we go. We were surprised this time because look, we let our light get down to 64. So now he has this plague shot. It will hit all front three. There's 3 people, so I'm going to use it. I like the big attacks across everybody. That's just me. Now, he has this ability, and it could make this person bleed because this person only has a 20% bleed, but she's not one of the people he can attack. You can see only the front 2. It gives you these 2 little deals to show you what will happen. I'm just going to swap him back. We move back 1 spot. And they have the same types of abilities. As we play them and we see their abilities, we'll see that he has a skill down there called Graveyard Slash. We've seen it now, we know what it does. We don't know what this character does. We know the Cultist Alkalite has 10 to 13 hit points, that's about it. There are also skins for these, for the different mods, for the enemies as well, by the way. I have some, but I don't know if I have skeleton ones and cultist ones. So, now, in this case, we could do just a straight heal. He's not doing too bad, so I think we're just going to do a judgment. And this person here is kind of a pain in the butt. Now, we will potentially do 48 damage. This person has 10 left. This only has 4 hit points left, so assuming we hit, we should kill him. There we go. Now, the corpse stays until it's up that spot, unfortunately. We can kill this corpse, and there are abilities that will wipe out all enemy corpses. Now, we keep pushing our one fighter back, which is a little bit of a pain here. They've done it on purpose, the bastards. We don't always get our way, and just going to push it again. There we go. He's all the way back. You will get frustrated with this. Take my word for it. Again, we're just going to try to get our people somewhat back like they should. I'm going to do judgment on her because this is going to be really annoying, and maybe we can get enough down. Maybe between her, maybe we can get a shot off with him. He's too far forward to do a shot. Will that do 2 damage? This will do 2 to 3. Oh, here, yeah, 2 to 3 damage. That's all we need. Now, the idea for this one is it actually marks them so we do more damage to them, but in this case, we're just trying to finish her off. So we can get somewhat back into our positions here. So we slowly move our Crusader forward, who's been worthless for us this time. We're just going to do the hit. We got a crit. Crits oftentimes lower your stress, as you see there. We de-stressed by 4. We got our victory here. We can come over here. We can click this. It'll give us our default party order again. And there we go. Into the room. Oh, we probably should have boosted our torchlight. We got lucky.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Click the next room. I'll stay left, right? Dungeons and Dragons rules, always stay left. Now, this character, I believe, is a kleptomaniac. So occasionally this character will just automatically open these on her own and keep what she finds. It won't go into our party inventory. And we just lose it, essentially. So that's a really annoying one. And again, maybe we should have boosted our light here. We were not surprised this time, but we will get a little bit more stress. Now, for the first time, we can see this character has some options. We've got this Plague Grenade. Plague is actually really good against skeletons, but you can see this only hits the back 2, and there's only 1 person that would get. Blinding Gas is a stun. We know this character is a pain in the butt. Or we could do a bleed. This character will bleed. 20% chances also. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get a couple bleeds stacked up. He resisted the bleed, unfortunately. So you can see he's got an ability that causes us to bleed. So 1 per damage will bleed. We're just going to kind of try to hit this guy. The bleed stacks, so this does 2 damage per round for 3 rounds. We could judgment him. That might just take him out altogether. Let's do that.
The fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
It's worth finishing people off. Now we've got that stupid Eldritch push again, which really annoys me. Now, this has 7 hit points as well, and he's got 10. We've got this Zealous Accusation. This will do 4 to 8 on both of them. Or we could do this, and that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be our once per turn Bulwark of Faith. It will boost our Torchlight, protect him 25%, but mark him. Or her, I guess is the case may be. There we go. So, marked, protected, 25%, I believe means we take 25% less damage for each hit. Pushed, we resist. We resisted the push this time. Now we can do a pistol shot from back here, and she dodged it. That stunk. Now we could cause this to bleed or this to bleed. If you kill somebody by bleeding, the corpse oddly enough does not stay. I'm going to stay here because if I move back, that's going to hurt her. We'll just do the base damage and call it a day. Judgment, and we missed that time. Oh. Couple big misses. All of a sudden things don't look so good for us. Zealous Accusation. See if we can get rid of that corpse. We killed him anyway. His corpse is still there though, but we got rid of the first one, so we've got her in the front too. So that's useful for us. And she will bleed, assuming she doesn't resist it, which she just did. I'm just gonna take the shot and we'll hope. There we go. Alright. So in this case, we've got a Blight Charm. This gives us Blight resistance, but it lowers our dodge ability. Not a lot of Blight in this dungeon, so you can tailor your charms and your equipment based on your dungeon. We'll go ahead, we'll get everybody back in their base bit here. Heirloom chest. Let's go ahead and use a key here. Unlocks a hidden compartment. Got us a little bit more gear. There we go. Now, we could go ahead and use a couple food here on some of our injured people. Now we'll leave 4, just because we want to make sure that we have some in case that thing comes up. Speed determines how early in the round you go, by the way. So that bleed was still kicking. There's a trap. We could have ended, if we had bandages, we could have ended it. Now before we go into the room, we're going to hit our lights there. So now we're good. You got to get back in the rhythm of this game. Nothing in the room. On to the next one. Surprised she hasn't stolen anything so far.
Wealth beyond measure.
Journal pages. These are essentially, I believe, just kind of story. Day 7. We tangled with some unruly louts. Raven called them cultists. They were ferocious but clumsy. Oh wait, Journal of Darius, a Highwayman. So you can start to build these stories up if you want. They're just fluff. As you play along in the game. Now everybody's hungry, so we needed 4 food left. Now we have plenty of food, because did we find some or did I just buy that much? I think we found some. So, we could top off here real fast. Now, they will reach a point where they won't eat any more food. They'll say, nope, not hungry anymore. There we go. We're all topped off. Our torch is at as much as we're going to get. The buff is high as we're going to get it. And there's nothing there. So we did everything for nothing. Down onto what should hopefully be our last room. Light goes down. Let's boost that up. Now it went 74 to 93, so not quite. Now, again, I'm going to use the shovel to clear the debris because that is a pain in the butt. I am playing this on the easiest level. This is Radiant because the idea is to be able to show you the game, not to die horribly and miserably every time I go out. But there are 3 levels of game, easy, a medium, and a hard. We're on the easy. So this time is the first time that we could kind of have, let's see if we can get everything going there. So we did our big grape shot against everybody there. They're going to put a quarrel on her. These guys are nasty. She could heal herself. She could heal the party for 1 to 2. I think we'll do this. It does damage and we'll heal her. She's the one most in need of it. These guys are essentially don't do a lot of damage, but they put your stress through the roof. So now, skeletons do get blight. So we could blight the whole back group there. There we go. And it's kind of a poison. So he blighted, he resisted. 4 damage per round though. That's going to kill him. His next round, he's going to go down. Now this is an excellent one to use this because there's 4 guys. They're all fairly tough. We'll do this first. Now in theory they should attack her, but she'll take less damage. Now they don't have to attack her, but they're going to do more. And I'm just going to throw this thing back out there again. There we go. Finished one off. These guys are coming down. Nobody really needs too much healing. So I think we go right back to Judgment. We can do 3 to 7, so we're essentially guaranteed a kill on him. Turns out, at least with 7, we could have killed him, but he has probably some protection. 25%. You can see down there, protection 25%. He's got a dodge of 5, a speed of 5. He's not going to dodge, but we're not going to do as much damage to him either. Now we can either stun this guy, or we can try blighting him again. I like blight. Let's finish him off. There we go. 4 damage per round on him. Now this guy, I say we just smite him. There we go. Big hit. Down he goes. Now we've got 3 corpses, unfortunately, in the way. Luckily he misses. 1 corpse dies. He moves forward. The corpse doesn't die. It gets cleared. So now we could grape shot this in hopes that we could clear some of these and do damage to him. Didn't do quite enough. I think we just hit him with another blight if we can. There we go. He's going to take 8 damage per round. That kills him. There we go. We get a bunch of stuff. Quest complete. Now, we could just finish right now, but there's a chest behind us that we haven't opened. So I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to come up here. We're going to open the chest. We have... Oh, this will tell you if you've used something before because there's all sorts of different ones. And while there is a certain logic to it, it's not always the most logical. And sometimes there's no logic to it at all. You just happen to know the rock, paper, scissors, whatever that they've chosen for that ability to be useful in that case. So they all have question marks. First time we've seen an heirloom chest, we'll put that in. Next time we should have a little mark that says that that one worked. So this gets us some more stuff. There we go. Now we can hit quest complete. Maybe. That'll take us back to town. There we go. These are our rewards. This is the base quest rewards that we had for taking it. This is the stuff we collected within the game itself. And these are the heirlooms that we collected. So we get paid for this stuff. We lose everything we had. So we don't keep any of this food or anything, but we do get money back for it. And then these are the heirlooms that we collected. So we've got 12 of these crests, a couple deeds, 1 portrait, and 10 busts. So now everybody gets experience. And this is our experience level here. So we got 2 resolve XP. And as we get better, obviously we get better. And everybody gets something that happens. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You don't always get one. I guess I shouldn't say that, but in this case, everybody did. So she got a 15% disease buff, resist. He gets minus 20 to his weapon upgrades, which is great. He's not allowed to gamble. So he's known to cheat, so he can't use gambling to blow off stress. Beast hater, so he's going to do more damage versus stress versus beasts, and he gets less stress versus them. Stress faster. 100% food consumed. If stress... Minus 100% food consumed if stress above 50. I guess that means if she's over 50, you're not gonna have to give her food. So for instance, if you come across that event that says everybody needs to eat, we wouldn't need to with her if she had over 50 stress. She would say, no, I'm not hungry. And we'd only need to have 3. I guess that's why that's a benefit. Tuckered out. And she does 10% less damage if her hit point's below 50%. So we return to town. We're going to unlock a couple more buildings here because we've just started playing.
In time, you will know
So this tells us,
the tragic extent of my failings.
quirks, if you keep them, will lock into place. So if it's a quirk you don't want, heal it quickly by going to the sanitarium. You can only have X number of quirks. If you have them all filled and you get a new one, it will just randomly replace one that's there. However, once they're locked in place, I believe they're locked in place. They don't get overwritten. So we completed our first foray into the ruins. Now we've unlocked some buildings. In this case, the tavern. So we could come here for stress relief. So we could take Reynard here. Reynard, however, will only pray, I believe, for stress relief. So this is the sanitarium. Still not locked. I'm not sure why it's not. It's still boarded up. There we go. And then here's the abbey here. So we could take Reynard here, drop her into the transept, so she will pray to a higher power. We can meditate, or we can flagellate. That's the caretaker. He's kind of the guy who runs everything when nobody's around. So there we go. And he will occasionally take up a slot. Now, we can come in here and we can spend our abilities here to open numbers of options. So we can say, look, Cloister's the cheapest one. Maybe I want to have an extra bit. It's going to take 4 busts and 5 crests to do that. So we could do this. That increases how much stress we get from that. If we do it again, it will reduce the cost of it. Next one will, I think they'll open these up as we go. And same thing here on these two. So they all have that. Now everything in the game has boosts like that. If we come here to the stagecoach, this is where we get new characters.
The raw strength of youth may be
So we'll grab new characters here. We can have 3 different options here to boost. One is to make more characters show up when we come here. Right now it's on 3. One will increase the number of people we can have. Right now it's only on 10. And experienced recruits, they'll come in at a higher level. So we'll just go with this for right now. So we've got 3 new characters. Now, the guild is still locked. The blacksmith is still unlocked. Nomad wagon is also locked. So we've essentially done what we can do here. So this is our first one. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll come back. One of the mods you can do in this game is to create your own classes. So in this case, we actually happen to have gotten some new classes. So we'll come back. That's not one of the new ones. That's one of the old ones. But these 2 here are new classes. We'll come back and take a look at those and kind of get an idea of what you can do with that for the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Mellowseven. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.